Namaste, namaste, family of light on Facebook Live, as well as we have light workers on Zoom. Baba Sharon here. And first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, no matter what your tradition is. Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and any other celebration, ceremony, or ritual that really promotes love and light, as it is all one. Most certainly, Jesus the Christ, who came to this world most recently in 2000 years. There's been many masters, but Jesus the Christ came very specifically as world teacher and give us instructions as to what's going on and how to get into the ascension path, which he and all the masters of light have referred to the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. That's basically it. And so, what I wanted to talk about today is on this special day of Christmas, which is celebrated. It's not necessarily the day that Jesus Christ was born, and you could do your own research. A lot of it's aligned with traditions from before, what the Christians call pagan, prior to that, where there is something very special about this time of year. At the Cosmic Center, we just did celebrate the winter solstice. So, energetically, since the beginning of time, or just about the beginning of time, there was many things align to certain times of the year. Most certainly, towards the end of the year, there are, let's say, archetypes that are in place that most traditions are aligned to, in whichever way it is expressed. Because the truth is, there is one source, there is one eternal Father, eternal Mother, one creator of all that is. So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about as we're coming into the new year of 2024 is how do you create more harmony in your life? And I just want to say that I am very, very aware of the fact in, family, relationships, different things like that, that there is a lot of disharmony. And in fact, it is during these holiday seasons, when family gets together, it's a traditional thing. And so people, have an inner sense that, well, at least once a year, let me try to reach out and do that if there's family involved. And it's not necessarily the case that family's involved. But whatever the dynamic is, the coming together of people can cause disharmony. And so how do we not engage in that? How can we be a factor that would assist in bringing harmony, not only in our lives, but also in the lives of others? And that's real important because it's really important that we begin to address that. In fact, our goal is to bring harmony in our field and as much as we can to the field of others. And the way that's going to be done is exactly what the Christ light or Christ consciousness speaks about, and always what is pointed to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, for example, is the iconic picture, and it's always about the heart. You will always see it's about the heart, and that's symbolic for this higher frequency, and it is a higher frequency, this unconditional love, okay, that brings in the higher peace, all right, is a real frequency, all right. So I'll give you an example. I remember this many, many years ago. I guess it was the Tibetan monks with the Dalai Lama came to New York City. They went into a neighborhood that was very, poverty stricken and all the regular things of a very oppressed, depressed environment. And they did a very sacred mandala in that area. and it completely shifted the frequency, completely. In fact, you would even know that at one point that was a ghetto there anymore. It doesn't even exist. So, yes, this is really real. And how do we bring harmony into our lives? Well, one, first, there has to be the intention. If you feel that you want to have more harmony in your life and your environment, then that first starts off, well, this is something I want to do. It's your heart's desire. It's an intention. Once you got that now, then what do you do to start to bring in those building blocks, if you will, to manifest that? First, you have to understand and know 100% that you are a powerful manifester because you are co-creator. You hold the similitude of the image of the divine. Okay, the divine is the creator, okay, by whatever name you give it, but we are a part of that. So we are co-creators as well. Our minds and our emotions, and I did a whole thing on this recently, is very, very powerful. All right. So what's happening a lot of times is we're running these unconscious programs. Okay. It's totally unconscious. And that unconscious program can be the collective from the humanity for these thousands and thousands of years, the thought forms that have been circling the planet for thousands and thousands of years. That can be the program that is cultural, particular environment or a particular segment. Okay, that program can be from parents, it can be from school, it can be from society at home. So now at least you have to say, okay, I want to create harmony in my life. What are the higher thought forms, okay, that can do that to replace maybe lower thought forms that are causing disharmony in your life. Now, the ascended masters have walked a path that at some point they were able to do it, to get to a frequency that they were able to ascend, okay, and they have harmony in their existence. That means if they did it, we can do that too. And it's something that you cultivate over time. It doesn't happen just like that. First, you begin to aware that there's a higher part of yourself. I think that's the first step. Okay. And if you don't know that, then request to say, my higher self, the oversoul, there's many names of it, but there's a higher part of you. That's where you tap into that through your intuition, your sensing, your feeling. Okay, this is this other aspect of yourself that if you're quiet, and that's why meditation is very helpful, you begin to tap into this higher part of yourself. When that begins to happen, you then say, okay, I may not be aware of the program that's running that is undo. I'd like to bring this to the surface because my goal is to bring harmony. Okay. How are some ways you can do that? Well, affirmations are wonderful. Affirmations of where you now consciously say, I want this to manifest in my life. I would like more harmony in my life. And so you're going to say those affirmations, which is really like a deprogramming of the unconscious thoughts. You want to replace them with thoughts that you know that you want. I am worthy. I am deserving of love and I give love. And whichever affirmations, there's thousands of them out there. You could get books or you can create your own. I tell you what I do. I actually say my affirmations now on my phone. It used to be on tape a long time ago. And I hear my own voice saying the affirmations that I want to have manifest in my life. And then also, what's very powerful, many of us are visual. And so, kind of having those visualization boards, those things absolutely work. They do. I did a visualization board, or what they call a vision board, decades ago, and everything I put on there actually did manifest itself. So, these are just practical tools that you can use. But the bottom line is as you put in that you want to have more harmony in your life. What begins to happen? You begin to change your frequency, thereby impacting your environment. Things, first of all, you will not be attracting old programs. You'll be attracting the newer programs that the universe is going to bring you to help you to achieve that goal that you want to achieve. You'll start picking up things in synchronicity, or certain dynamics will unfold that you begin to see there's changes taking place and you don't ignore them. You move towards where this guidance now is coming to you to create what it is you want to happen in your life. That's it. You want more harmony in your life. So thereby now there may be things that used to get you upset before that you know what you say it's not even worth it. I'm not going to even put my energy. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself. There's certain shifting and changes in your all thought patterns, okay, that brings you to a new level of where you're automatically going to start to experience things. Who cares? You begin to say, I know what I'm talking about, and I don't have to validate myself to anybody else except my creator, my higher self, me. Okay, so there's all these different things that will begin to happen as you begin to tell very clearly what it is you want to have manifested in your life. And when you say that I'd like to have more harmony in my life, it's going to be easy for you to forgive. You're going to find that circumstances will come around for the opportunity to have a discussion, perhaps that you have not had a discussion for a while. Because whenever there's a disharmony, you have to understand there's two factors that are part of it. It's not just you, there's some other thing that's involved that's causing the disharmony. So, whether that's another person, whether that's a situation, okay, that's going to have to come into the mix to come up to the surface to address it. But how are you going to address it? You're going to address it differently. You're going to address it where you're going to come to a higher heart of compassion, forgiveness, understanding, tolerance. All those things now will come forward. And it doesn't really matter if the other party responds to it or not. Eventually they will if they're entangled into it. But what does matter is your new attitude and approach. That's what matters. That's what matters. So I'd like to say, for the new year coming up, as people aspire to new goals, ways how can they improve themselves as humans, which is always a good thing. How can I personally improve myself? Not competing with anybody else. That's their business. This is just you with yourself. How can I improve myself as a human being, as a divine creator? And one of the ways you can improve yourself is living your life more harmoniously. Okay, when you want to have that intention, you really focus on that and willing to put into effort to make that happen. It absolutely will manifest. Things from the past that I used to think was a big thing or I had to do, that doesn't bother me anymore. In fact, many of the earthly dynamics that take place don't even bother me anymore. I'm in a whole different place. I'm in a whole different place, and my life, as many people who reach to this level, sometimes it'll take a number of years. That's where sagehood comes in. That's where your elders with wisdom comes in. Okay, that they have lived a certain amount of time to reach this, say, new perspective or understanding and wisdom. There's something to be said to that. There's definitely something to be said to that. So, I would say the earlier that you can get it, the better it is, to start living a more harmonious life, which will bring you more peace and will bring you more balance. So, with that, I'm going to say namaste. And in this season of light, I wish you enlightenment on your spiritual journey. And I will see you next week. Namaste.